Swami Rama, as a very, very young man, was taught more by his own master, the man who raised him, than any other teacher. And his master had many friends, had a similar caliber of maturity. And so one day, Swamiji's master told Swamiji, why don't you go out and teach people you find in the mountains what you've learned here? And he jumped at the chance. Oh boy, because he wanted to show what he knew. So he went strolling through the mountains. And in those days, you didn't have to return at night, because you could often find a cave. When I was up near Gungo Tree, 12,000 feet up, I deliberately nosed around, and I did find caves. Some were occupied, some were not. So Swamiji went strolling through, and he found a Swami. And he said, I'd like to teach you a few things. Oh, that's wonderful. What do you want to teach me? I'm going to teach you about death. Well, I'm all ears. But can I bring a few friends? Well, of course. I want a large crowd for my teachings. He's asking for it. So the guy got a few of his buddies, and they went to a cave to listen to the great Swami. And so Swami Rama expatiated on the theoretics of death and leaving the body and going off and so on. He was very pleased with himself. And one of the yogis raised his hand and said, Swami, sir, now that you've explained all the theoretics to us, could you show us death and how to come back? Swami never thought about that. So he tried to, I'll have to research that. I'm sure I can, but he was so embarrassed he left. And he marched back furiously, swearing at his master. And when he got into the cave, he said, you've cheated me. You've sinned against the scriptures, for it says when the sincere student follows the master has to teach him everything. And you didn't teach me about how to raise people from the dead and so on. His master said, are you teachable? It sounds, how can I teach someone who isn't receptive? He couldn't answer that one. So he had to go back and listen some more. He went out again. And he just happened to run into these guys again, of all things. He said, come on, I can tell you more about death now. Okay. But there was another gentleman that was a Swami, it wasn't just a yogi. And when our young Swami Rama finished, he said, what do you think of that? He said, well, that's not bad for theoretics, but let's see you demonstrate death again. In fact, here, let me show you. Give me an ant. I got him an ant, big ant. Cut it up in parts. Put them all over the cave. Okay. Suddenly he began to say a sound. And the parts started to gravitate. And they came together and they walked away. Swami kept that ant for 3 days, watching him, until finally it died. And he came back to his master and the ant said, you didn't teach me anything, he said. Okay, I'll learn to be teachable. Maybe. Yes. The quest. Everybody wants to attain enlightenment, but they don't know what it means. That's a nice word. Sounds impressive and pious. Or call it self-realization. Or I want to go into my astral body. I love that one. And yet they don't know practically what to do. And they want to rush meditation. They want to hurry it up. Sorry. It's like trying to skip over the spring, get to the summer. Can't do it. Now, in the act of meditation, something very contrary happens. Most of the time, we're occupied with our daily desires and wants. Got to pay the bills, make the appointments, achieve a certain status in the community. Now, in meditation, the key here is to put that aside. That's what I mean by being contrary. You're not to forget about it, you're just to put it aside. Now, where do you put it? Well, you put it in your toolkit. You all know what the toolkit is. It's called memory. That's our master toolkit, memory. That's where we keep all our past experiences, our fears, our hopes, our ambition. It's our toolbox. Now, any one of you who are a skilled journeyman know you don't pull out every tool every time you open up the box. You only pull out the tool you want. Then you just keep the box closed. Likewise, when you go through your day, why do you keep pulling out all the tools? It drives you crazy. All your thoughts, your ambitions, your memories, your desires, your reactions. No, keep the toolbox closed and just carry it. That's what meditation teaches. How to close the toolbox with all the tools in, of course. And then how to carry that forth easily. So the act of meditation is to release your clinging, your holding on. It's to take, as it were, a fresh look. It's by putting things down and just being at ease for a while. Now, that's not an emptiness. Something unusual happens that can't be proven in a lecture. It can only be proven in experience. The act of closing the toolbox of memory brings a greater strength to the carrier of that toolbox, so that he can now select the tool he wants rather than having them all jump out at him at once. You who work at a job know how frantic people can be in order to get their work done. Their toolbox is open and jumping all over the place. That's what weakens them and makes them grow old faster. One of the secrets in Swamiji's cave to the monks there was they knew how to keep their toolbox closed. And so they could go to 150. They didn't wear their body out. Oh, they got exercise. Because there's a way of exercising without moving the physical body and getting the benefit of the physical body. But you're not receptive, so I can't tell you.
Oh, come on. Not fair.
I just wanted to tell you. everything up here. This is the centerpiece. The body is nothing but the mind in an organic form. That's all. You decided to become human, so you got human cells, organized as they are to befit a human. You didn't become a bee or a cherry tree, you became a human. Oh, okay. Everything that the body is empirically, sensually, originates in the mind. The mind has this blueprint, and it keeps checking up on it because it's very proud of its body, even though you may not be. And as a consequence, it's constantly trying to make sure that it's running smoothly. Keep enough oil, gasoline, so on. So, entering into the body, it's not totally self-sufficient the way the mind is. The mind doesn't need anything, but the body does. Has to have nutrition, shelter, has to breathe. In other words, you have to become its caretaker. Now, a lot of people tend to resist that as they get older, and naturally the body goes the way it will then. And then they blame the body. No, it's up here. Everything starts here, positive or negative. And so the body, being the expression of the mind, is just waiting for the mind to say, what do you want? Your metabolism, your emotions are always eavesdropping on what idea is running through your head. Because that's its nature. It can't do anything else. It can't do otherwise. Your body can only express what's up here. So you can't blame your environment, your mother-in-law, the weather. It all starts here. But there's another challenge here. It takes a while for the mind and the body to begin to realize they're partners. Oh, there's a certain instinctual thing. You know, I learned that when I reach out, I can grab that. But can I hold on to it? Well, that's something else. And what do I do if it hurts? I let drop it, something breaks. So there's a learning process that has to go on and on until there's a coordination and a harmony between what the mind wants, using the body as its instrument. It's so simple. And people forget that or ignore it. Traveling through life with this realization that you're this embodied spirit or consciousness, and learning to delve into the potentials that it has, that's what the path of enlightenment is all about. Nothing else. It's got nothing to do with studying scriptures, learning mantras, chasing after gurus. It's all about learning what it means to exist as the reality you are. And hopefully to enjoy the trip. Because if you're not enjoying the trip, you're not educating your emotions. That's very important. People tend to get so austere. I've seen this over the years. Almost on the brink of rigidity. Don't do this. Be careful. Set up your taboos. Well, you can. And that's the way to go. But it's not much fun. And you're never going to get there. So, as you get to understand your nature, you realize that it takes a lot of experimentation. And sometimes there are groups in the world, or what we'll call traditions, ways of looking at life, that can enhance that. And that's where yoga comes in. Yoga does not start with the sutras. The sutras start with your nature. That's all Patanjali and his gang came up with. The study of human nature. Oh. And they put it in 4 chapters. That's all. With a certain logic. So the whole process of getting involved in yoga mirrors self-discovery of your nature. Nothing more, nothing less. Are there other paths? Sure. Anything else, pull it in. You know, the sutras are not a closed book. Swami Rama wrote a 5th chapter. We've never seen it. I've looked at it, but I couldn't read it because I don't know Sanskrit. In other words, even what we find now in the classical 4 padas or chapters, however authentic, valid it may be, it's not complete. There's more. And the reason I will put money on this by saying there is more is because you're not a finite being. Only your body is. Oh boy. What's the other half then? Infinite. And I don't know what that means. I don't think we can draw and say, this is the border. The body you can, to a great extent. Now there is a caution here. It's a danger. It tends to trap smart people. Of course, you don't have to worry, so you'll never get into this trap. The trap is you fall in love with your perspective of life, your paradigm. This is the way things really are, and everything operates within it. It's like somebody saying, I've got the recipe for spaghetti sauce. Nothing can touch it. Really? Have you ever tried it with these others? Herbs? Don't even bother with it. There's no willingness to experiment. Huh? To submit it to what you already know. That's not the path of our tradition. You are the laboratory in our tradition. Oh. And you're the laboratory inspector. The researcher. You're researching yourself. That's another way of saying you're discovering your nature. Oh, what happens if I breathe only through my left nostril? Wow. I don't want to do any work. I just get so relaxed, you know. If I breathe through my right, I can't wait. Let's go, next project. What happens if we breathe through both? Nothing disturbs me. You get my point. So everything is built upon self-experience, which you confirm, authenticate, You're the only authority that's required. And it doesn't matter whether people believe you or not. You know what's true and what doesn't work. Look at the feeling, the confidence, the quiet sense of well-being that gives you. This works. I know I can heal myself. I just be patient and work with myself. So we have Hatha Yoga. Brings about a marvelous coordination of body and mind, but it's also for the internal organs to keep them well. You have your breathing practices, which integrate body and mind so that emotions, metabolism are under your self-control, will do exactly what you want. Swamiji was the living proof of that. See, I always go back to that ace. Anybody who challenges me, oh really? You don't think you can slow down your heart, huh? Or your blood pressure? You want to bet? How about $1,000? The point is, after a while you think, wow, what else is there? The way you find out is by going in, as it were, releasing your preoccupations and dwelling within, so that the peace, the darkness, the calm breathing becomes the object of your attention. That's where your mind is directed. You cannot have an empty thought. That's not possible. Only that occurs 6 feet underground. So the focus of your intention and meditation is just to dwell within yourself. And something interesting occurs. You feel peaceful, calm, tranquil. What do you know? Thoughts don't seem to badger you so much. Why? Because you just let them go by. You're letting them go back into the toolbox. Oh. Some may pop up, let them. They'll go back in the toolbox if you hang on in your peace. You don't force it. You don't look for it, because that's another tool from your toolbox. You just be there. Then the magic can happen. Here we go. So that when you come out of your meditation, having ripened over time by repeating the practice, learning to handle the toolbox, now the magic can happen in your life. And what is that? You start to see things as they really are. That's an act of contemplation. Your eyes are open now. You can even be moving about. Doesn't matter. You see things for what they are. People, events. You're able to adjust, adapt, maneuver without immediately reacting. It doesn't mean you're indifferent. You're very acutely united to reality, and you're responding according to what's there. In other words, you're living intelligently. Another word for that in the West is called you're acquiring virtue. You know what is good, you know what is bad, you know what's indifferent. You realize your limits, fine. You're not upset by that. That's just what it is. not disturbed. You don't beat yourself up. You keep things as they ought to be in their proper place, as best you can. I guarantee this, you will definitely be more alert. The width of your awareness will expand, both in breadth as well as depth. You'll make better choices for yourself as well as your loved ones that are maybe related or under your care. So there's a reciprocity, if you will. The deeper you can meditate, the more your contemplation is enriched. And that's the goal, not meditation, contemplation. Because that's where self-enlightenment is all about. To know the truth of reality and to enjoy that. Because when you consider in your own life, think about it. What has given you the greatest moments of enjoyment? What is it you would like to have endure longer? You must be aware. You must be united to that reality. And that's what enriches you. That's why you are a human being. To know and to love the universe. To walk freely, without any fear. And that's where you'll get one day, more and more, to the state of utter fearlessness. There'll be nothing that you are emitting that would provoke violence in the environment against you. Interesting. You may even get to the point where you are so tranquil that people walk by you, don't even see you. I'm serious. You don't come up on their radar because there's nothing in you that triggers a reaction in them. It's like when you go for a walk. Can you remember all the trees and the grass that you passed? No. Because it was in a tranquil state. It was there. You have to think about it. In fact, you may get to the point, oh, I'd love that to happen if you could, where you are so enriched by your own peace that when people walk into a room, if they have an angry thought, it vanishes. Why? Because your presence dominated it by its own vibration. It overcame the chaotic vibration in that person's mind. Didn't hurt them, they just forgot. It's like one sound comes because it's so strong and harmonious, it overcomes any cacophony that was less harmonious. Now, next point. That's the introduction. Your mantra. Hey, it's a sound. Yeah, it's a vibration. You're filled with vibrations. Every organ in your body has its own vibration. Seriously. Some people can hear your kidneys. Yeah. Some people, well, you know, you can hear the heartbeat, right? I can put my ear up, I can hear it. Love dub, love dub, love dub. That's very gross sound. There are subtler sounds coming off of it too, on that scale. The mantra is what introduces you to a twofold harmony. You've never heard this before. It's meant to totally harmonize your whole body so that you don't have that toolbox jumping around all the time, causing internal worries and fears, anxieties, sleepless nights, reactions. No, no, no. That's noise. Let's just call that noise. The mantra is to come in and gradually quell that noise. Oh, I don't have to be that way. No, you are not that way. You thought you were because that's all you felt. So that's obvious. The logic of your conclusion makes sense. If you're always feeling upset, you think you're nothing but an upset being, which you are. But you have allowed yourself to be that way. Oh. So the mantra comes in and says, whoa, a new wave of sound comes down, riding across the whole individual, calming down the waters, as it were. This major wave comes in and move over, folks. I'm taking over now. That's what the mantra does, if you want it. But it's still under your control. You can't do it unless you give it your heart. So you combine your breath to calm down first. You introduce the mantra. Most mantras do not belong in coordination with the breath. You don't need that. They'll operate independently. Only a few are there, about 5. Don't ask me what they are because I won't tell you. Anyway, it's the wave of that mantra coming across literally the organic dimension of your being that affects the significance of that mantra. When you listen to music, it's not all the same. As you listen to music, as you well know, you get a feeling induced by the music, induced by the sound. Same way with the mantra, once you get sensitive enough. It's very subtle. And you can get to the point where you will feel that mantra in different parts of your body because it's affecting it. What's it doing? Bringing it into harmony with your nature, with the blueprint. You have a perfect blueprint as a human being. No scars, nothing's out of kilter. But you're not always operating from that perfect blueprint. The mantra is to bring you back into perfect harmony with the blueprint. And that means, as a consequence, your powers will start to grow. You'll get stronger emotions, stronger analysis, stronger memory, stronger perception. Your instincts, your intuition will start to increase immensely because you're in harmony with your nature. That's the way it's meant to be. But that's only one part. There are 2 parts of harmony here that the mantra introduces. All right, second part. The harmony that the mantra is inducing, sending those waves through you. The mantra is also introducing you to the harmony with nature out there. Your individual nature, nature at large. Oh my gosh. Now you can appreciate the seasons, even in Minnesota. Except where it gets too hot down in Texas. But the point is, you start to feel, I'm serious, you'll feel a rapport with nature. You are more likely, don't walk out in traffic, but you'll catch yourself just being fascinated by the different types of growth in nature, the color changes, the structure, even the way it sways in the wind. It will kind of hold you, because what you're entering into is the development of contemplation. Oh, that's your goal. To be able to contemplate the infinity of beauty and truth. It doesn't make logic sense because it exceeds it in a sense, but doesn't violate it. You can appreciate so many things right now in your life. I mean, simple things even. The design in the rug in your living room. The tastes of bringing together your granola. Just the feeling of using your body going for a brisk walk at dusk. You are in rapport. You're in the reality. You're experiencing it. And the more you're in your nature, the more those simple things can mean so much. And thus you'll protect them as well, because you don't want to lose them. So meditation brings you back to your nature so that the fruits of that practice blossom into contemplation. Meditation doesn't give you so much. It prepares you. It makes you ready for life. Disappointments will come. Betrayals will happen. Unexpected closures will occur. How are you going to react? You learn to see things for what they are, the limitations, because everything out there is limited in some way, even the stars. But you're at home and at ease with that. But that takes a while to get there. It doesn't mean becoming indifferent or becoming unemotional. No way. It means responding as a human being with emotion. There are times to be sad. Yeah. That is a genuine emotion. There's times to be angry. That's a genuine emotion. So that there is no aspect of your humanity that's foreign to you as you progress in your journey to where you want to go. It's your choice. It's your destiny.